Welcome to the Power History Channel. In this documentary, we explore the full range of armored vehicles and tanks deployed by the French Army during the Indochina War, from reconnaissance vehicles to frontline armored fighting machines that shaped the battlefield. The Coventry Mark I, also known as Coventry Mk1, was a British 4x4 wheeled armored vehicle developed in the final stages of World War II, beginning in June 1944. By the end of 1945, approximately 220 units had been produced. Technical specifications: Mark I. Armament: equipped with a 2-pounder 40mm QF cannon and a coaxial 7.92mm Besa machine gun. Crew: 4 men, 1 driver, and 3 crew members in the turret. Engine: Hercules RXLD 6-cylinder gasoline engine, US built, producing 175 horsepower. Weight: approximately 10.35 tons. Maximum speed: 68 kilometers per hour, 42 miles per hour. Although the Coventry Mark I did not see combat under British colors during World War II, around 40 to 64 vehicles were sold to France after the war. These vehicles were later deployed and saw combat during the Indochina War in Vietnam, primarily with the 5th Armored Regiment, or 5e Régiment de Cuirassiers, of the French Army. Panhard 178 AMD 35 was an advanced French 4x4 wheeled armored reconnaissance vehicle used by the French cavalry before and during World War II. It was armed with a 25mm SA-35 cannon and a 7.5mm Rifle machine gun, and later continued to serve with the French Army during the Indochina War. Main characteristics: classification: 4x4 wheeled armored reconnaissance vehicle, auto-mitrailleuse de découverte. Crew: 4 men. Armament: 25mm SA-35 cannon and a coaxial 7.5mm Rifle machine gun. Role: designed for cavalry units to conduct reconnaissance and enemy detection. Designation: the official name was AMD 35, Auto-mitrailleuse de découverte Model 1935. The number 178 was Panhard's internal project designation. Overall, the Panhard 178 was an effective armored reconnaissance vehicle with a long service history, appearing in multiple variants and participating in several conflicts, most notably World War II and later the Indochina War. The LVT-A4, Landing Vehicle Tracked Armored 4, was an American amphibious tracked vehicle developed during World War II. It belonged to the LVT family, originally designed to transport troops and supplies from ships to shore. Unlike transport versions, the LVT-A4 was an AM tank, equipped with a turret and artillery to provide direct fire support during amphibious landings. Country of origin: United States. Production period: 1944 to 1945. Number built: approximately 1,890 vehicles. Technical specifications: general. Combat weight: about 18 tons. Crew: 6. Length: about 7.95 meters. Width: about 3.25 meters. Height: about 3.11 meters. Armament: main gun: 75mm M2/M3 howitzer, mounted in the M8 turret, originally from the M8 GMC. Secondary weapons: 2 to 3 times .30 caliber Browning M1919 machine guns. Early versions sometimes mounted a .50 caliber machine gun. Mobility. Engine. Continental W670-9A, about 250 horsepower. Maximum speed, about 40 kilometers per hour on land, about 11 kilometers per hour in water. Operational range, about 200 kilometers on land, about 120 kilometers in water. Armor. Light armor, only sufficient against small arms fire and shell fragments. After World War II, France received several LVT-A4 and LVT-4 vehicles from U.S. surplus stocks and deployed them during the First Indochina War, 1946 to 1954. In Indochina, the LVT-A4 proved especially useful due to its amphibious capability and ability to operate in swamps, rivers, flooded rice fields, and muddy terrain where conventional tanks often struggled. Tactical roles in Indochina. Mobile fire support vehicle for infantry units. Direct fire against fortifications and enemy positions using the 75mm howitzer. Operations along rivers, deltas, and wet terrain common in Vietnam. French expeditionary armored and cavalry units employed the LVT-A4 mainly in riverine and lowland operations. The LVT-A4 was not a main battle tank, but a lightly armored amphibious fire support vehicle. Designed in the United States during World War II. Armed with a 75mm howitzer and machine guns. Later used by French forces in the Indochina War, where its amphibious mobility made it highly effective in difficult terrain. Despite its light armor, the LVT-A4 played a supporting role in colonial and amphibious warfare. The M8 Greyhound was a light 6x6 armored car produced by the Ford Motor Company during World War II. It was primarily designed for reconnaissance and command roles. Armament. The vehicle was armed with a 37mm M6 main gun, a coaxial .30 caliber 7.62mm M1919A4 machine gun, and a .50 caliber 12.7mm M2HB heavy machine gun mounted on the turret for defense against infantry and low-flying aircraft. Limitations. The armor was relatively thin, especially on the floor, making the vehicle highly vulnerable to anti-tank mines. As a result, crews often added sandbags for additional protection. Its off-road capability was limited, performing best on paved or prepared roads. Service with the French Army in Indochina. The French Army made extensive use of the M8 Greyhound during the First Indochina War, 1946 to 1954. These vehicles served in multiple roles within the French Expeditionary Corps, including road reconnaissance, security patrols on roads and in rural areas, convoy escort, integration into cavalry and reconnaissance units, occasional use as a mobile observation post. France received these M8 Greyhounds as part of U.S. military aid programs following World War II. After France's defeat and withdrawal in 1954, many M8 Greyhounds were transferred to the newly formed Army of the Republic of Vietnam, where they continued to serve for many years.